Hello, welcome back to Auto Pop Culture, and today we're going over Tevlo's third album, fourth album actually, called Sunshine Kitty. So it's actually exciting because I've been following her through her career. I definitely started off with Ladyhood and went from there. I listened to Queen of the Clouds, and I didn't think anything different other than it was a good album, but I didn't think it carried on through, like, there's a whole, like, undertow plot that's going through, like, three of her albums until I saw that, like, Ladywood is one, and then, like, what was the other one? Ladywood, and then, it's gonna kill me. Anyway, and then a third one that was supposed to be the second phase to Ladywood was coming out afterwards, and I didn't really realize it until Ladywood, and I was like, oh my god, there's a whole arch that she's doing this whole time that I didn't even realize. So with that, I listened to everything again, and I kind of like took in the notes and everything, and it's pretty dark. Like, it's not dark. It's pretty sad. Like Ladywood goes through like the whole kind of like dancing to kind of forget your thoughts and kind of like making bad decisions, or kind of to like, and doing drugs to kind of like cover, like mask all the pain and everything. I think that Queen of the Clouds definitely made that so in the beginning, and I think Ladywood kind of exaggerated it a little more, expressed it more, and then but you think that she's getting better through the end of Ladywood, when she kind of figure out like what's love anyway, and then she goes to I don't know why it's killing. Oh, Blue Lips. So she goes to Blue Lips, and that's pretty much turns into a more of a deeper feeling of what's going on. Like, I feel like Blue Lips kind of makes she's gone through all the drugs, she's gone through all the parties, she's done all this stuff, but it still hasn't really helped as much as she thought it would. And so it just made it even worse of a spiral going down to the point where you go to Hey You Got Drugs, which is one of the best songs off of the album, and is a great ending to an album. And I felt like it was an ending, it was just like, even after all of that, everything ends, and I'm still lonely, and I want to and it kind of relapsing back into like the drug talk, like, oh, do you got drugs so I can like deal with this again? And it's kind of like a whole cycle of what's going on, how she's dealing with it. And it's definitely not healthy, but it's one of the vulnerable feeling, like, album arches that I've like ever listened to. There are some, but this one that I can list, but this one definitely hit a lot more home than anything else. And so I know that for sure that her fourth album, Sunshine Kitty, was supposed to be a little more lighter, and that's what she says. Like, I'm gonna do a little more of a lighter album that's not as deep, not as intense as this one. But of course, it's Tove. She can't, the lightest. It's like saying I'm gonna like her light dimming, her light and her definition can only go so far, because it's just like when you have those type of deep songs that take all those meanings, you can only go so light, until it becomes artificial and everything, which I'm sure that's what she did not want to go towards, and that's exactly what she didn't do in this album. She completely, she gave you a lot of ones that hit hard with emotion, but the other ones were a little more sexual and everything, and there's definitely some lighter songs, but the tone of the album definitely the lyrics definitely give you more of still gives you that Tove emotional feel that you feel in the other ones, which I love, and I love that she's added more happier songs-ish. So, and it's interesting because there's also a light arch in this one too that I was trying to understand. So what it has to do with Mateo, and I wonder if Mateo is the person she's talking about throughout the whole thing, because she starts it off with Mateo leaving a message saying it's me, have you heard of blah blah blah, if you you can't just eat. So, you can't just be eating one thing and not be any other, something like that. I thought it was a joke. It's pretty much saying stop just eating pussy and eat other things, And so, and yeah, so it was one of those type of things where I was trying to figure out exactly what that meant exactly. But anyway, I like this album. I felt like the second half of the beginning of the second half was a little kind of slowed down a little bit, or should I say that? Yeah, the second half a little slowed down a bit, but it's still, there's a lot of there's songs that always like pick it up after this, like every second song after that kind of low end song like picks up immediately, so you're just completely inside of it still. Glad He's Gone is a really good song, and it was the lead song to this album, and it was a really good switch to what she usually does, because usually more about her and what she's going through, and so having her single talk about more about the other person, what they're going through, and how supportive she is with like getting that friend better, making her feel better and stuff like that, was kind of interesting. So I thought it was really nice. And then you kind of go through the other singles where you go through like Bad as a Boys with Alma. And that's actually another one that's like, I feel like, well, let me say this. I feel like this album actually expands more of what she's actually wants to talk about. Like, the areas to where she would like to, where she hasn't gone before, but doesn't surprise you that she can go there. You know, like you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. She's hinted that before, and now there's a fuller song onto it, explaining more into it. Like, so example, Bad as a Boy, she's mentioned, she's touched on bisexuality, or dating other women and that type of places in different other places of her albums, especially Blue Lips, but. And this one is more directly kind of like shouting out on the other way. It's just like, oh, you're just as bad as the boys, like kind of making it known. It's like, it's just like, I dated the boys, they're assholes. I even date, and now I'm trying to date you, and you just found out to be one of the, like, another asshole, which just shows that just like, it's like, you never can win, like, you never know, like, it's not just, the assholery is not just the boys, it's not just the girls, it's pretty much a human. It depends on the actual human directly, you know? So it's just a little more complicated than that, which is, I think, that's kind of cool. Sweettalk My Heart was really, really nice. I love the Sweeter Than Love. I love that part too. And it reminds me a lot. It was funny because I looked at it, I was just listening to it, and I was just going through all the fun facts and stuff like that about each song. And one of the things I saw was that somebody was referring to as like, it reminded him of the Mika song Take It Easy, and so I was like, oh yeah, it has pretty much that same type of chords, and I thought it was kind of cool. Most of the songs pretty much about like flings, like short-term flings, or flings that she thought was going to go somewhere but ends up not going anywhere, and then kind of like messed up relationships, also / we've been through shit, so let's just kind of do stuff without any attachment to it. So that would include like Jacques, and what was the other one? Equally Lost with Doja Cat, which is kind of cool that she was in this. So, and it's like those, and it's also like that, and like and then you get the ones that are a little more crazy, like a little more crazier, a little more obsessive. So you go to like Mateo, where she's like, she wants to be with him, but he's not really, like, he's looking to get with other people, but she's still hoping that she'll have her chance with them at some point. And so that's kind of a thing you hear in that one. And then like there's a bit of a choice part where it's like after Sweettalk My Heart, it goes to like Stay Over and Are You Gonna Tell Her with MC Zach. And I thought, and she's not the best role model. I don't think she's ever said she was, but those two definitely opens up. Once again, it's like she's not perfect, and I think that one of the things that I love about her is that she lets you know every bit a part of her, this flaws, the best of her, the worst of her, all of it. And those two come in with the Stay Over and Are You Gonna Tell Her, with the whole like, stay over, even though, like, let's be official now that you're single, let's be official. And he's like, I need to take time to, like, be single and get my mind right. And she doesn't want to take that consideration. She's like, I don't care if she was in the past, and you're single now, so let's be with me, because I've been wanting to be with you for a long time, and it's definitely not considerate, and it's kind of an asshole move. But it's one of her sides. Another side that the one thing she ended up doing too, is that she ends up sleeping with a guy who's in a relationship, And pretty much the next day is like saying like, are you gonna tell her? Are you gonna tell her about us? Like, what are you gonna say about us? Like, blah, blah, blah. And it's one of those things that's just like, I'm not a cheater myself, but I assume the ideal thought if you're going to cheat with a person in a relationship, or the person's going to cheat with you in their relationship, the idea is not to tell anybody else. You know, like it's a untold like agreement in that terms, because you're already doing something bad as it is, so you don't want to tell anybody else. So it's one of those things that she kind of like taunting him in a way. It's like, are you gonna tell her? Are you gonna tell her, kind of thing. And so those two weren't really great examples of like great behavior, but all in all, the album is nice. I wouldn't say it's as good. I don't think it's as good as Blue Lips and Ladywood. I think Ladywood and Blue Lips are just amazing, and this one's more of pulling you out of that little like plot, but at the same time it's really interesting. Like there's ones like Shifted and Mistaken, where she kind of seeps into her like kind of questions her relationship and what's going on. Like with Mistaken, she thinks that he may be with another he may be thinking about his ex from before and thinking that maybe that relationship was better than the one he's in now. And then the Shifted one was where she realizes that she's putting way more work in a relationship than he is, and even with that, she felt like he doesn't seem to care. He's not putting half the effort in, and so she gets to the point where she's like, I'm done. I'm not going to put more effort into somebody that you're not going to put an effort in, which is, we all have been there and seen that before. But the big highlighter has to be Anywhere You Go is so hopeful, because it's just, you go through Shifted and Mistaken, and I was like, oh god, and then you finally get to like this hopeful ending, which is like, I want to be with you, highs and lows, let's just go for it, and just take it as it goes, you know, like, and just kind of enjoy the ride of what it is for how long it might be, how if it is forever, if it's not forever, I don't really care, like the fact that I'm with you is all that matters, kind of thing. And I think that's what she's pretty much saying, and I think it's just a really good album. It's a good album, not as good as the last two albums, but is a good album, is a decent album in general. One thing I definitely want to point out too is that she's still working with her go-to people, which I think is kind of cool, producers and stuff like that. And then she also made herself a mascot, which is really, really cool, which is the Sunshine Kitty, I'm assuming is the name. And I definitely caught that, because a fun fact about Tove is that the name is supposed to mean lynx, and so pretty much she uses the mascot Sunshine Kitty as a mascot, but she's also a kitty, or she has a kitty. She's also a lynx. You can see the ears, like dark little points parts of it and everything, and it's adorable, and I love it. I think it's super cute. I wonder actually who drew that, unless she did, and she's a great artist. I'm very curious to see if she's going to do more stuff with that. But yeah, all in all, it's a really good album. I love that Jack Jones is in Jacques. And he's one of my favorite DJs, and he just killed it. And it's also on his album too. So, I didn't even mention this. I don't know why I didn't mention this at all, but Kylie fucking Minogue is on Really Don't Like You. Oh my gosh, when I saw it being a single, I lost my shit. I was like, oh my god, I gotta listen to it now. And she did a good job. Like, she didn't really, she got her notes, she got her parts. It wasn't, I think it was a decent collab. I don't think it was the Stop All Things collab, but I think it was a really good collab, and I was just happy to see that she's collabing with all these different people. It's not like a theme of like, oh, here's my song, and here's a rapper, here's a song, here's a rapper, here's a song, here's a rapper. Like, it's DJs, it is a rapper, then it's another female artist, and then it's another female artist, and then it's a female artist that also raps in the same way, you know, and she kind of mixes it all up, and I think that's very cool of her to kind of show you all the things that she can do. I think it's so cool. So that is all my review. I give this album a 6.5 out of 10. Just because I know the other ones, I docked it down for that reason, but I think 6.5 is still good for me. In my eyes, I think it's still a good revisited album. I've revisited it already three times already, so it's a really, really good album. And sorry, I should like it's a good album. It's just not as good as the other two. So leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. And I'll see you guys in the next video.